Work culture defines our career growth. It also defines how we shape us as individuals in our professional lives. The impact of a good work culture is tremendous. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how a good culture can impact your career and how a toxic bad culture can pull you down. I'm Zuhaib, and thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of Plug Out. So what I've done is I've categorized performances at work in terms of positivity and how a good culture promotes that. So I've segregated the three most important parameters, which I call the 3 P's of work culture. Now, the number one thing that comes at the top of the list is play. What is play? Play is when you're motivated by the work itself. You work because you enjoy it. A teacher at play enjoys the core activities of teaching, creating lesson plans, grading tests, problem solving, how to break through to each student. Play is our learning instinct, and it's tied to curiosity. How curious you are, experimentation, and exploring challenging problems. That is play, and that contributes. If there's play in the culture, that's how you come into the picture. Now, the second one is purpose. Purpose is when the direct outcome of the work fits your identity. You work because you value the work's impact. Now, I'll take the same example of a teacher. For example, a teacher driven by purpose values or identifies with the goal of educating and empowering children. The third point is potential. What is potential and how we look at potential? Now, potential can be misinterpreted as well, but how this fits in this episode is potential is when the outcome of the work benefits your identity. Now, if we follow the same example of a teacher, in other words, the work enhances your potential. For example, sticking to the same example that we were talking before, a teacher with potential may be doing his job because he eventually wants to become a principal. That's growth. And that's when you're actually aware that what is the outcome of this work and how it benefits your identity. Now, since these three motives are directly connected to the work itself in some way, you can think of them as direct motives. They will improve performance to different degrees. Indirect motives, however, tend to reduce it. Have a look at the things that we just saw and how we can recap them. Right, so we saw the 3 P's and how they contribute to our growth and our engagement. Now we'll look at the 3 things that actually pull us down if the culture is toxic. Emotional pressure. Emotional pressure is when you work because some external force threatens your identity. If you've ever used guilt to compel a loved one or to do something, you've inflicted emotional pressure. Fear, peer pressure, shame are all forms of emotional pressure. When you do something to avoid disappointing yourself or others, you're acting on emotional pressure. This motive is completely separate from the work itself. Economic pressure. Economic pressure occurs when an external force makes you work. You work to gain a reward or avoid punishment. Now, the motive is not only separate from the work itself, it is also separate from your identity. Finally, inertia, and I'm sure most of you have not heard about it. I also was not aware about it until I did my research and saw that how critical inertia is. So what is inertia? Inertia is when the motive is so far removed from the work and your identity that you can't identify why you're working. Sounds familiar? Most of us fall in this category. We're not even aware why we are working. We just wake up in the morning, take a shower, grab our coffee on the way to work. That's it, without any purpose, without any focus, nothing. We're just so robotic in that routine that it's just very, very normal for us to do that without even knowing why we are working. When you ask someone why they're doing their work and they say, I don't know, I'm doing it because I did it yesterday and the day before. That signals inertia. It is still a motive because you're still actually doing the activity. You just can't explain why. Now, these indirect motives tend to reduce performance because you're no longer thinking about work. You're thinking about the disappointment or the reward or why you're bothering to do it all. You're distracted. You might not even care about the work itself or the quality of the outcome. Now, these things you can actually self-analyze and see what are the things that actually you have it in your personality and how many of these things you take to work every day. I hope it opens up your eye. It gives you some sort of a reality check and makes you question why you are working. Self-awareness is extremely important for you to actually feel healthy at work and for you to actually grow consistently. Thank you very much.